already for years. They just didn't open it to the public, and they're going to do it now to improve the efficiency and the productivity of the workers. And again, here's an application, the Dutch NS desktop, where they have ruggedized PDAs. And the application is written for the workers themselves. They're very user-friendly for that particular type of worker. And today in one of the sessions, I heard a lot of talk about usability. I think one of the things that people forget when they're designing applications for anyone, municipalities, enterprises, or people, and that's why Apple succeeds, is that the device and the applications have a very high usability factor. People like to use it. It makes sense. It's easy to use. So back to the bus and the Wi-Fi on trains and everything. Wi-Fi is being used in a lot of places for the last 100 meters, or 100 feet, or whatever you want to call it. So because people in their laptops, phones, and gaming consoles all have Wi-Fi. Not everybody has 3G. Very few people have WiMAX. It's the common denominator that we all share. So why not use that last mile, if you will, 100 meters, to deliver that connectivity? And whatever happens on the back end happens there, on the backhaul. Fiber, WiMAX, 3G, DSL, TD-CDMA, that's it. I'm seeing that kind of design happen more and more in different places because people are saying, hey, Wi-Fi's there. The backhaul's cheap. Why don't we just clap these two things together and deliver connectivity? It's happening in places especially where the market has become very competitive. So in France, for example, they're cobbling together all kinds of packages for people because acquiring customers is very expensive. If you're a mobile operator, or even if you're a DSL or a cable company, it's very expensive to acquire new customers. So what you want to do is not lose your existing customers, right? So what you have to do for them is say, look, don't, when your term is up, when your one-year contract is up, don't move to another operator. We'll give you an extra freebie. We'll give you, DSL to go with that, telephony. We'll give you IPTV. And they cobble all those things together to the point where the price for access in places like Paris, 50 megabits per second symmetrical, is 29.95 euros. So if you charge more than that, people won't go for you because there's already that. If you make people pay more for bandwidth, forget it. That's it. 29.95 is the price. Like in the States, I guess 19.95 is what the price more or less for DSL. It's 29.95 for 50 megabits. So to wrap up what happened today and the State of the Market report, surprisingly enough, when we took the survey for the State of the Market report, which Mike Berkowski talked about this morning, we were very surprised that munis are actually more positive and not less positive. We expected them to be saying, well, we're going to wait, and it looks like the technology isn't there, or we're going to wait for WiMAX, and then that's not what they said in the survey. The applications are the key drivers. The one thing that we didn't have last year at this event here that is present today are, of course, the iPhones and devices like it. Who knows what's going to come out of that, right? When the PC became very popular, people also didn't know we'd be using it for all of the things we use it for today. It's very hard to tell, but one thing's for sure, it's a very popular device, and if you have more devices like that, people will want to use it everywhere. There's a lot of pressure also on governments and enterprises to be more efficient, partly because labor is very expensive. So, one of the drivers in Europe, for example, for making the railway workers more productive is because labor there is very expensive, and that's the same here. And finally, the green movement and clean tech are major drivers. It's, we can't avoid that today, right? Our environments are becoming more polluted. The congestion, the traffic in cities, it's unbearable. We have to find a way to move people a little bit more efficiently. And today, also to try to use energy in a more efficient fashion, which is what Burbank is trying to do with their wireless, with their Wi-Fi project. So if you just see these 5, points and think about, where we're heading today, it should give you a very good blueprint for where people are heading, what they're thinking about, and the kinds of applications that will be developed in the next 5 years. And with that, welcome to the conference officially.
Thank you, Esme, for those stories. Okay, as I said, a variety of different perspectives. So it's my pleasure to, well, first to bring up the right PowerPoint. It's my pleasure to introduce Padmasree Warrior, the Chief Technology Officer of Motorola. For several reasons, last year I became engaged in an email conversation with her about some of the trends in mobility, and became fascinated by her perspective and dazzled by her intellect. So it's rare to find a CTO who are typically focused on sort of the weeds of technology to be thinking at the strategic level, and especially about the kind of innovation that wireless broadband can help to bring. So I wanted to ask Padmasree to come up here and give some of her thoughts about